Hi everyone, welcome to Living Raw by Grace presents Holiday Truffles. For those of you who are now tuning in, I had attempted to do a live video with a Facebook filter on, and it did not work so well, so I took it off, and and we're back. So thank you for tuning in again. Here we go, starting all over again. So this week I gave you recipes for zucchini. And because last week I told you all of the amazing benefits of putting some summer squash, zucchini, yellow squash, Mexican gray squash into your diet. And then this week I told you how to use it. So earlier in the week I gave you a recipe for ravioli, for fettuccine alfredo, for hummus, and for holiday truffles. And then I asked you to vote, and I had an overwhelming amount of people ask to learn how to make holiday truffles with zucchini. So I'm going to do that demonstration today. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for more people to tune in because I just had like 6 or 7 people watching my last one, and it was a bit distracting having leaves falling off my head the entire time. So we'll do it without the filter, the fun filter this time. Alright, so with our zucchini, if I were making these truffles just for myself, I would just throw this whole thing in. But because I want them to be a little lighter and not so green, I'm going to peel the zucchini first. So, I have a wonderful ceramic peeler that always stays sharp. I love this thing. I've had it for 5-6 years, and I've never had an issue. So I'm going to peel my zucchini. I know, wildly exciting. Everyone who's tuned in, I'm peeling zucchini. Alright, so I peeled my zucchini, and now I'm going to chop off the top and the bottom. And I'm going to chop it into smaller pieces. So the zucchini, while it being one of the main ingredients, actually goes in, I'm going to say almost last. Okay, so we got the zucchini all ready to go in. So with this recipe, I'm making a batter, a dough that I'm going to roll up and put into little balls. So we're going to use a food processor today, not the blender. You know I love my Vitamix, but today I want to use the food processor because I want a different consistency, and it's much easier to work with a ball of dough in this than in the Vitamix. Don't get me wrong, I love the Vitamix. So first things first, every food processor comes with an S blade. It looks like a little hurricane symbol. This is what you're going to be using to do all of the grinding today. Oh, there's some questions. Let me answer some questions. Araceli, I see you. I am having a salad party this Sunday. Shoot me a direct or private message through Facebook, and I will send you the invitation. But I can't, friend me if we're not friends already, okay? And Sally Valencia asked me about detoxing. So the next detox program that I'm leading begins the first Monday of December, and the next class I'm teaching in person will be in January. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I will have to get back to you. Hi everybody, welcome to watch. We're making holiday truffles. So first things first, I want to grind my rolled oats. Do you see the rolled oats? So a half a cup of rolled oats into my food processor. I want to grind them down to a powder. Now when I first made this recipe, you want some sort of a flour. If I were to use only rolled oats, it would be a little on the gritty side. If I were to only use almonds or walnuts or both, just these, it's a very dense and heavy truffle. So by adding the rolled oats, I'm getting a lighter texture, but without the grittiness. So you need a little bit of each. So it's a half of a cup of each. But first I'm going to grind each of them down one by one. So we're going to grind down the rolled oats first. And then I'm going to add The almonds, they're very hard, so I'm going to grind those down next. So it's a half a cup of each. We're going to grind these down next. It gets quieter. The more that they're ground down, it's not quite as loud as when you first start grinding the almonds. That's how I can tell. Usually I do a lot of things by hearing. Or you could just simply watch, and when it looks like a fine powder, then you're ready for the next ingredient. So the next ingredient is walnuts. So we're going to do half a cup of walnuts. So we're doing a half a cup of rolled oats, and then a half a cup of almonds, and now a half a cup of walnuts. All right, now we're gonna do a full cup of dates. Now I know if you're like me, you're thinking a whole cup of dates, it's a lot of dates. It is a lot of dates. I don't do a full cup. If you can tell, there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 missing out of here. Dates are expensive and they're very sweet. So if you need to be a really sweet truffle, then do a full cup. If you are okay with it being mostly sweet and you don't want it like, ooh, it's really sweet, then do a little less than a full cup. If you don't like the price of dates, then okay, does anybody out there know what I call the poor man's date? Anybody? Anybody know what the poor man's date is called? According to Haley of Living Raw by Grace? Anybody? Any comments out there? I find that raisins are the poor man's date. Raisins are cheap, they're just as sweet, maybe a little less sweet. The only problem with using raisins in a recipe is that you can taste the raisins. They have a very predominant flavor. Dates kind of disappear into the recipe, which is nice. I use raisins a lot because I find that I like the flavor of raisins and I like the price of raisins. Dates can be kind of expensive. So I'm going to do about a cup. I know you guys love my measurements. About a cup of dates into the mixture. And I'm going to grind again. Okay, one of my dates is caught on the side of my blade. I can tell because the whole thing is shaking. Don't do this at home. I don't know. One of my pitted dates wasn't pitted all the way. It's a fun way to find out. Hello, date pit. You sneaky little date pit. Pick your dates ahead of time, and if they come pitted, there still might be a pit. It happens. All right. Now that we have a nice fine crumble of the oats and the almonds and the walnuts and the dates, now I'm going to add some liquidy ingredients. So we've got 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. If it's cool where you live, it might be white. If it's warm where you live, it might be clear. It doesn't really matter. You can add it solid or liquid. It'll warm up by the blending. All right, so 2 tablespoons. This is when we add our zucchini. I cut them into segments and then I cut them in half. I want my food processor to do a good job of processing them, blending them, pureeing them. And if they're too big, it takes a long time. And then there's chunks. So I don't want chunks. I want it to be nice and smooth. So I'm going to throw these in. Now the whole reason these are holiday truffles and not just truffles is because we're using pumpkin pie spice. Oh, it's backwards. Pumpkin pie spice. This is why we do everything pumpkin pie. I know there's pumpkin spice coffee and pumpkin spice muffins and pumpkin spice everything you can imagine. It's the spices. It's not the pumpkin. Pumpkin has little to no flavor, but the spices are amazing. And these spices include cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg and cloves and cardamom and fennel and black pepper. Deliciousness in a bottle right here. This time of year, I put this on everything. Anything I usually would use cinnamon for, pumpkin pie spice becomes my spice to go to. There's also apple pie spice, which comes in a different little container, and that has different spices in it for some odd reason or another. And I think apple pie spices are pretty good too. All right, so we're gonna do a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And to offset a little bit of that sweetness, to let it jump out and hit you in the face, I'm gonna do just a pinch of salt. Just a pinch, just a little of salt. And then we're gonna let this blend again. Now it's gonna get a little, before it was just a crumble with just the nuts and the oats and the dates, but now it's gonna become a little more batter-ish. It's gonna be a little softer and a little more wet. So we'll see, I'll show you what it looks like. You want all the zucchini to get fully blended. So keep an eye on it and make sure that you don't see any hunks of zucchini anywhere. If your batter does this, where it gets stuck and it's not moving, the pulse function of your food processor helps to fold things into the middle. It's kind of nice. I can still see chunks of zucchini, so I'm going to keep doing this. Wouldn't be a video if I didn't dance. Anybody out there dancing with me? Okay. I know I'm ridiculous. That's half the fun. If you're not having fun in the kitchen, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so we're left with a batter. If you have a ice cream scoop with a little scoop release, you know what I'm talking about, one of those things, those are perfect for this kind of a thing. Want to know who doesn't have one of those? This girl. So I'm going to use a spoon. And of course, I need to get a spoon. So I'm going to just use a regular teaspoon. Working from home is great until your dog starts barking. Alara, come here. You guys have seen my dog before, right? Okay, so I'm going to take a dollop of the batter and I'm going to roll it into a ball. Looks like this. And then I'll put it in a container and I'm going to line this container with balls. Now as you do this, your hands are going to get real sticky. So I would say every 4 or 5 balls you're going to need to clean your hands. I know some people who wet their hands in between each ball, and while that helps to keep the balls from sticking to your hands, it leaves some weird residue on the balls. I know I keep saying balls. You can giggle if you like. But see how sticky my hands are getting? I'm getting batter on me. All right. So then you just do this until all of your batter is gone. And then when you're all finished, you're going to put them in the fridge or the freezer. Very often I put things in the freezer. So you're going to chill it for at least an hour, if not more, depending on how firm you want it. And then when it's fully firm, it's ready. And then you serve it. It's delicious. It's amazing. I'm going to wash my hands real fast because my hands are gross and I can't touch my phone. So now you have my holiday truffles. It is that simple. I think the majority of the recipe is spent rolling the balls, rolling the truffles into truffles, because the rest is pretty easy. Even the pulsing of the dough doesn't take very long. It's pretty fast. And by the time you're done, so if you take a look, so far I've got 4 truffles in this container, and I have a lot of batter left. So I would say, I could probably fit 12 balls in this container, and I would still need another container. So I would probably make somewhere between 20 and 30 truffles out of this batch. It's pretty good. And can you see the size of these truffles according to my hand? They're about a tablespoon worth of dough. I did a heaping teaspoon. And so you can make them smaller if you like. You can make them bigger if you like. If I were serving these at a party, I would make them smaller. I would make them like bite size. Like you pick one up, you pop in your mouth. These are kind of 2-bite truffles, and they're a little harder to eat, which wouldn't be good for a party situation because then people want to just pop them in their mouth and go. But these holiday truffles are amazing, and they're fun because they're zucchini. You're eating zucchini in a dessert without even realizing it. The zucchini kind of just, it disappears. You don't even realize that it's in there at all. You taste the dates, you taste the pumpkin pie spice. You might even taste the almonds or the walnuts or the raisins, or not the raisins, or the oats, but they're all kind of well mixed in there. It's a fun combination of flavors. It took me a while to get this recipe just right. And so now you get to go make some truffles on your own. So not only do I encourage you to make these holiday truffles, I want you to let me know. Let me know if you make them. I want you to take a picture or shoot me a little thing on Facebook or on or email or whatever. I would love to know about it. These truffles will last at least a week in the fridge, weeks to a month in the freezer if you don't eat them first. So good luck with that. But they last for a good long time. Almost all of my food lasts at least a week in the fridge, just so I can get to it. That's how all of it works. So, holiday truffles, all of, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ingredients. A couple minutes. I've only been live for about 15 minutes. So it's really fast, and I did no talking. It would be done in no time flat. And these are going to be a gift to somebody who I owe food to. You know who you are. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, amazing weekend and Thanksgiving. And I will talk to you all next time. And if you have a specific fruit or vegetable that you would like me to discuss and have recipes for, leave me a note or a message maybe at the bottom of this video in the comments if you want something specific. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys all later next time. God bless.